everybody. I am here with Jody Kirk, the Destination Stewardship Manager of Tourism Tofino, and Jason Sam, the Program Coordinator for the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust. Hello, special guests.
Hi, Cameron.
Let's. You have to come a little bit closer to the mic. Try that.
Hi, Cameron.
Okay, now we're cooking with gas. Today's kind of a big day. There's something fascinating going on, and at first, maybe I'll start with you, Jody. I think this has been going on for a while. Can you tell us what we're going to talk about today?
There's an exhibit at the Visitor Center.
Yes.
It opened on the 6th, and we're having an opening event tonight. It's Truth, Honor, and the Way Forward, and the Legacy of Hope exhibit that the students from USS put together. Maybe I'll let Jason talk about it.
And we're going to be able to see this, and we'll talk more about tonight. But Jason, let's talk about this, the recent National Day for Truth and Reconciliation event that happened at the school.
Yeah, so it's our 4th annual exhibit to commemorate the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It's gotten bigger every year, which is great.
I'm right next to the mic.
Okay. It's gotten bigger every year, which is great, and more partnerships and more community involvement, more classes and teachers being involved.
Yep.
We take a 3-avenue approach: truth, honor, or the way forward, and specific classes tackle certain aspects of the exhibit, and then we compile it all around a Legacy of Hope, professionally developed exhibit, and it is our annual exhibit for youth-led reconciliation.
Have you been with it since its inception?
Yes, and it was previous. It kind of existed previous to the first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation that the federal government initiated. So before that, we did some of these projects, but it didn't culminate in a big community exhibit. So it's been probably a decade of work with a lot of the teachers.
How do you guide the process? Are students coming to you with ideas, and then you look at them and say, yeah, that's a good project, let's add that in?
It's pretty focused. So our art class does our own orange shirts. So
Yes.
the students design and learn how to screen print their own orange shirts with more personal meaning to them. And then our English classes, upper level English classes, work with Heather Hendry on poetry. So
Right.
those are very set, as well as our upper level English classes work on the 94 calls to action. So those are all reoccurring. Our nutritional studies 8 and 11 class work on language revitalization as part of the project as well. So there's certain avenues that are already we've been repeating for.
Right. It's interesting to me too, then it's like a living sort of exhibit, right? Does it change all the time? Does it expand? Does it grow? Do some things that started 10 years ago kind of go to the wayside and as new things get added, or is everything incorporated?
It changes every year based on the classes that are scheduled to run.
Right.
So if there's specific classes that are running, we'll look at different focuses each year with them. Last year we had a dietitian in to look at the effects of malnutrition on children that went to residential schools. Didn't get to add that in this year, but we worked with the Socials 9 class to create part of the Truth exhibit. So they did research this year.
You mentioned poetry. Is there a live aspect at all?
A live aspect?
Yeah, it's just someone there reading poetry or you know what I mean?
Today there will be.
Today there will be.
Yeah, today there will be.
For the event today, everyone's invited. It's 4 to 6 p.m. and we'll have some of the students read the poetry they created.
That's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
What can people expect when they come there today? Should they come at 4 or should they come anytime throughout that time?
I think they can come anytime throughout that time. We'll probably have the poetry readings around 4:15.
Yeah.
We'll also have drumming as well. And they'll be mingling and just time to ask questions and take in the exhibit. And the exhibit's also on until the 17th. So if you don't have time to come today, or a lot of people will come once, take in some of the information, come again. It's really powerful exhibit.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned, Jason, the 94 calls to action. If people don't know what that is, can you tell us a bit about it? I know I didn't plan on asking you this question, but I think it's an important thing.
Yeah, so out of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada, out of their findings when they toured across Canada, holding all the events, listening to survivors, and then gathering information, and then taking the time to digest it, they came up with 94 calls to action from whether that's like the Canadians in general, or the federal government, or institutions within the health system or the justice system. They came up with 94 calls to actions to start to work towards the healing from the trauma that happened at residential schools.
Would you recommend that anybody just read them?
Yeah, they're actually really quite easy to digest. They're smaller when they're broken down. 94 is a lot for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these projects that we do work on the calls to action. So language revitalization to commemorate the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation are specific calls to actions.
Right. On that note, as a call to action, who are the other people? Do you have partners in this endeavor, or people helping you?
Yes, it's been great. Legacy of Hope supplies us with an in-kind exhibit every year, and that's on a very specific topic when it comes to the effects of colonization or residential schools. And then the Heritage Canada partially funds the project, so I apply every year for some grant money for them to run the project, because it is quite expensive to run. And then we've added in Tofino Tourism with Jody and her team that reached out and wanted to have the exhibit available longer, because it used to be only open for one day for the exhibit, because
Right.
it's tough to host public things in a school setting. So Jody and her team reached out.
Basketballs flying around, dodgeballs, people blowing whistles.
Yeah, so Tofino Tourism jumped on last year and does fundraising for us as well as host the exhibit.
Well, how did that start for you? How did you choose to get involved, Jody?
Well, I think it was because the exhibit was available to view just for one day, and I think there was one year I couldn't make it, and I thought, oh, this is just incredible work. It'd be really nice if there was more time and more people could see it, and because the exhibit's in Ucluelet as well, so that it was more easily accessible to people in Tofino, and also a really great education piece for visitors who are visiting. So yeah, I ran into Jason, I think at a CBT event, and asked him if it was something we could do, and it all came together actually really quite easily.
I see you're sporting your orange shirt. Mm-hmm. It's very lovely.
Thanks.
Do you know whose design that is?
Yeah, so this design is Koya Morgan Bank, and she designed it last year. She was graduated from USS last year, and she designed this print, and we took the print and printed quite a few T-shirts that we sell throughout the year at the visitor center, and they're also available at Ahus Adventures. And all of the proceeds go towards the youth work.
It's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So people can come, and today one way they might be able to support is to do that.
Yeah, they can
buy
these shirts. There's also shirts that the students have printed themselves as well. And we have the poetry books for sale as well.
That's really fun. Mm-hmm. And today you'll be able to hear the students read maybe their own works. Mm-hmm. Where is it exactly? You come into the door of the tourism center. You've got the room to the right. Or is it right in the main?
Yeah, we've cleared out a lot of the merchandise that we normally have.
Right.
And so we've cleared out most of the center. And so it's when you walk in, it's to your left.
Great.
Mm-hmm. But you can't miss it.
There's a lot going on in your space. It's a very beautiful space.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend people go there all the time. And in my little Tourism Tofino reports, I say, go ask some questions. They love to say hi.
Yeah, we have lots of information for visitors, but also we have a lot of locals that come in that have questions. If they're there's been no road closures, but if there's anything going on like that too, our visitor services team always has answers.
I highly recommend everybody go there. It's kind of a special way to bring this into the flow and let people know how long will this be going on. If people couldn't make it today,
It'll be on until the 17th. The visitor center is open at 9:30 and we close at 5. So
anytime.
Anytime, just come and take a look.
And although how else can people be supportive? A, by showing up, maybe buy a shirt, support the poetry.
Yeah, and I think mostly just showing up and learning. And if you can't make it, then making an effort to learn about the residential schools year round.
Right, and ask questions and don't be afraid to get involved. Jason, is there an opportunity, for example, this happens sometimes, somebody might be listening and they think, hey, I'd like to get behind that project, but I have some money to donate. Is that a possibility that people could do that?
Yeah, we started fundraising 2 years ago now. I always had a hard time associating money with this, but then so many people and visitors said, hey, why is there a place I can donate?
Yeah.
So we did start taking donations, and then working with Tofino Tourism gave us more capacity to fundraise around the orange shirts and the poetry. So CBT will take donations as well as Tofino Tourism. Tofino.
How if someone's listening, like right this second, and they literally, should they send an e-transfer? Should they come visit you at CBT, or should they just come tonight?
Any of those three will work.
Any of those three will work. Well, it is
all three.
And you say it's expensive. Is this a touring exhibit? Will this go somewhere else? What is one of the main expenses?
Usually it's getting guest speakers in.
Right.
People, knowledge holders or survivors come and share their stories with students. That is a big cost. We produce a video every year as well,
right.
To use it as promo to continue accessing funds through Heritage Canada
right.
for this. So
we would love when those speakers do come, if they were ever interested to come here, and we could record that conversation too. That could be a piece, right? Create that kind of backlog of wisdom.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, keep it. So that's something we'd love to do. Let's talk about the applications are currently open for the Lifelong Learner Award, and I'd like to know about that.
All right. Yeah, so this is our second intake for Lifelong Learner Award, and that's for adult residents of the Clayoquot Sound Biosphere region continuing their learning journey. So this award aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4 of quality education. So that is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So the goal is to have a more mature student from the region who might want to go take a course at an accredited university.
Right. And anybody could apply. Who could apply?
Anybody who has been a resident from the Clayoquot Sound Biosphere region for more than 3 years.
Right.
And then they have to have graduated more than 3 years ago as well. So looking to engage those youth that kind of miss out on the potential scholarships. So I think that would mean you have to be 22 or 21.
Are there any areas of education that you would choose not to support, or whatever that individual would like to do, if as well as they've got a strong case and they've proven their desire and they've got a plan?
Yeah, we've been open to all sorts of different applications. We had one application for a makeup artist, for a professional makeup artist, and I looked into it, and it was an accredited university course.
Yeah.
We don't judge on their choices of learning. So we really believe that individuals should pursue what they want to learn. But our main selection process is community involvement is like the number one ranked thing that
right.
we look for, being a community foundation.
And how can people apply? Is there a certain time frame, like the regular university year sort of thing, but they could apply anytime?
So September, it opens usually late September and closes early November. So that's our application window. They can log into or they can go onto our website and find it under grants, and then under education awards, and it walks you through how to apply. You can also just reach out to me at any time via email.
You'll be there tonight?
I will be there tonight.
So I say tonight, but more this afternoon. So the application deadline, repeat it for me.
November 6th.
November 6th. So that's coming up.
Yes.
And what would be the maximum benefit someone might receive? Full tuition for that specific thing, or
it's set at $4,200, and it's a one-time award.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, though.
Yeah.
I mean, man, don't know how I ended up down the rabbit hole, but looking at the price of books and text and learning materials, and it's not an easy thing. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to support people to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I not going to ask you, Jody?
Oh, well, I was just thinking that if you can't make it tonight, the T-shirts and poetry books are available online at the Tourism Tofino e-com store.
Ooh,
so
that's fun.
Yeah, so that's year round. There's something I realized I didn't mention.
That's all right. Mm-hmm. Are you loving what you're doing with Tourism Tofino?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
It's
been really wonderful.
It's such a great crew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's been an incredible year. We've been able to work on, now we have the capacity to work on like so many more projects that are really meaningful to the community.
Yeah. I really appreciate it. I got to be on the board and I'm really enjoying it. I think Brad Parcells doing a great job, and you got a really good crew and a good team.
Yeah, it's
and
been
of
great.
course this translates to the Clayoquot Biosphere Trust team too. So thanks for everything you do. Is there anything else that you would like to leave us with, Jason?
No, just come out and support our youth-led reconciliation and take the time to commemorate the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
How many students will be there tonight? I mean, I don't need a specific number, but will there be many from the cohort, or just some that are maybe reading? Or
A few courageous students that are maybe working on those public speaking skills.
Ah, nice.
Fingers crossed. I wasn't so involved with that class this year, so
Right.
I just have a list from the teacher that says we'll have at least 5 there.
That's great. And
Fingers crossed.
So everybody out there in Radio Land listening on the West Coast and all of our communities, come out and support this amazing event. Of course, let's check out the 94 calls to action. I have read them, but I realized when you said that I need to read them again. And perhaps I'll even do a little bit of reading on the radio. Everyone who has that bravery to do some public speaking, they can come in here. They could come in here and read some of these, and we can talk about all this. Thanks for making time. Sorry that I was late. Thanks for handling the new...